Hey guys, this is your host Nitin Binhani, and a very warm welcome to my startup podcast channel Jazair Audio, where we share real stories with real learnings.
In today's podcast, we'll explore the dark side of entrepreneurship through the story of a founder who shut down his profitable startup after going through a lot of sleepless nights and antagonizing stress for 2 long years. According to a report by Startup Snapshot, 54% of founders are very stressed about the future of their startup, while 72% of founders report mental health impacts, including anxiety, burnout, and depression. There's a human cost that startup metrics don't show. It's a fact that founders often experience significant stress while building their startups. This stress, when not managed, often leads to anxiety, burnout, relationship problems, and even mental health issues such as depression. And the story shared by a founder under the anonymous name Dizzy Kwaka highlights the brutal reality that startups are not for everyone. So, here goes the verbatim based on the years. 2021. When the fire inside me hit. I had a 50 plus lakhs or $60,000 salary as a VP of operations that came with job security, weekends were off, and life was sorted. But no, that wasn't enough. LinkedIn posts, podcasts by founders, and $100 million valuations, they all made me feel like I was wasting my life and not building the next big thing. I told myself, I'm smart, I work hard, why am I building someone else's dream? So I quit my job, left all that stability behind with just a vague idea and the audacity to call myself a founder. I also raised $2 million in seed funding because I had a great idea, enough skill sets to prove from my career, and the right credentials to win in this space. Investors believed in me. Hell, I believed in myself. 2022. We built stuff people actually wanted. And here's the weird part. The idea actually worked. We built a good product, people paid for it, and we even became operationally profitable. No crazy burn rate, no major disasters. By all traditional metrics, things were more than fine. But all this while, something felt off. When everyone else on the team was jazzed about solving the problem, I was just going through crazy emotions. I'd wake up every morning and think, is this what I really wanted? Late 2023. Started having panic attacks. Turns out that foundership wasn't about the cool pitches, the media features, or the I raised X million dollars LinkedIn flexes. It's about the grind, the constant weight of making decisions that affect everything, the never-ending uncertainty. And I realized I wasn't built for this. I wasn't obsessed with the problem we were solving. I was only obsessed with the idea of being a founder. The stress piled up. I hadn't slept properly in months. My relationships went to shit. My mental health was in dire straits. I'd built a successful startup by most measures. However, it was draining the life out of me. 2024. And here I am, calling it quits. So yeah, I'm shutting down my startup, wrapping up operations, making sure the team is taken care of, returning to investors what's left of the funding. It wasn't an easy decision, but it's the right one for the business and for me. There are some really attractive acquisition offers on the table. I didn't fail at building something. I failed at being a founder, and honestly, that's okay. So, here's what I've learned. Entrepreneurship isn't for everyone, and that's fine. It's glorified to the point of being toxic. If you don't love the grind, it'll break you. The founder title is overrated. You can do meaningful, impactful work without running a company. Seriously, there's no shame in working a 9 to 5 if it makes you happy. Success isn't equal to happiness. I built something profitable, but it didn't make me happy. In fact, it did the opposite. Your mental health is worth more than a cap table. If you're miserable all the time, maybe it's not the right path. Stability is underrated. There's something to be said for working a good job, earning well, and having a life outside of work. Planning to start up? Before you quit your job, ask yourself, are you obsessed with the problem you're solving? Are you okay with constant stress, uncertainty, and sleepless nights? Are you ready to give this startup years of your life? If the answer is anything less than a resounding yes, it's time to think twice. And if you've already started and feel like I did, it's okay to stop. There's no shame in calling a spade a spade. For me, I'm going back to a role where I can still build cool stuff, just without the 24/7 chaos of running the show, and I'm really happy with that. Entrepreneurship is overrated. Stability isn't a dirty word. Keep building, or don't, that's fine too. To conclude, the startup ecosystem needs to normalize closure. Less than 1.5% of startups end in an IPO or acquisition, while 90% startups end in shutdowns, and that's really okay. Your worth isn't tied to your startup's fate. It's choosing yourself over your startup. A failed business doesn't mean a failed entrepreneur. You are not your startup. Sometimes the bravest decision isn't about pushing through, but it's knowing when to stop. Folks, that's it for today. Thanks for tuning in. Please like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Join us next time as we continue exploring the dynamic world of startups and the valuable lessons from their journeys.